Alright, this video is going to be pretty long, but I can promise you I will try to make this as short as possible. I can't promise you that it won't be less than 5 hours. So if you're willing to listen to my voice for 5 hours, then I mean, hey, more power to you. In order for you to understand why I came to this conclusion, you're going to need to know a lot of things to make it easier for both myself to organize my thoughts, and so that you guys can know what happened when I put it all into this notepad here. And it starts off with a scan that was released somewhere around January of 2022. Then we ended up getting translations and people started posting videos about it, about the next My Hero game. It's going to be so-and-so. They didn't really know what it was. They just saw that there was a translation that it was going to be another My Hero game. People ended up coming to it and became known that it was going to be a battle royale game, and we didn't know when it was going to come out though, because there wasn't any more information after that. We then cut to us getting information that the beta is starting for the Japanese first. They got the Japanese beta, and this is the date that it came out in. To be more specific, January 17th was the day that we got the closed beta registrations. We also got on February 2nd was when the closed beta start in Japan. They got the registration and the date of when these two things happened. Cut forward to July 1st, 2022, we got the first global closed beta. So this is where people in Europe and Americas were able to play the closed beta of this game. You had to register for it and you had promotion videos for it. On July 3rd, we got the second promotion video for the closed beta being released, and on the same day, we got the global registration restarts. On July 7th, we got showcased in AnimeExpo. Although if you try to click on the link, it will not send you to an actual thing because I think the vaults were destroyed. There are some people who probably made videos about it, but that's what we have. On July 7th, we got the AnimeExpo expose. On July 11th, on the official account, we got our character roster. So these are the characters that we know will be in the closed beta. On August 12th, we got the character roster confirmed via the English account. On August 12th, we also got the confirmed date of when it will happen. On August 14th to the 16th, we got the countdown. So it was like every other day we got, hey, 3 days in or 2 more left, 1 more day, stuff like that. On August 17th, the second closed beta launched, the global closed beta. It was a small group. People were able to play it. It was fun. People had some experience on the characters. They were able to try out some other skins that ended up coming in the open beta later on. But that is when the rest of the world was able to experience this game. At least a small selected group of people were. On August 21st, the closed beta ends. So we got that. On the same day, here's just a random fact. They actually did a appreciation to some random citizen. It was weird. I don't know. I thought you guys might like it. On August 26th, we got a thank you letter and a survey posted so that we're able to be like, hey, this guy was overpowered. Froppy was fucking broken, and a lot of other stuff that we just, hey, did you like this character? Did it feel good? It was a survey. On October 14, 2022, we got a confirmation that My Hero Ultra Rumble will not be releasing in 2022, and that is thanks to a random streamer. I think is what he was, or he is. I don't really know. I didn't really look that into it, but he got the English account to reply saying be on the lookout for good news in 2023. There's also some other streamers or YouTubers that they ended up making news on this or videos on this, and it just that's it. The game will not release on 2022. Although people that participated in the closed beta, we felt like the game was ready. The developers and the producer felt otherwise, and honestly, it was a good decision because it was not ready. What comes after made the game feel not ready. At least coming from a closed beta tester to an open beta tester, it felt like the closed beta test version was inferior compared to the open beta test version. The open beta test version felt more rebalanced and more of a completed game, whereas the closed beta test was more of a demo. On December 9th, we got the closed beta stats and a promise to keep working hard at the game. After this date, we just got total silence. It was a really sad day after this, because after that, it felt like 100 years, 1,000 years. It felt like a millennia. People were posting videos about it saying, hey, this game ended. People just stopped talking about it. Like the hype for it was totally gone, and they just stopped talking about it. It wasn't until May 17, 2023 that they came back, and they came back with a vengeance. They said, fear not, citizen, fear not, gamers, My Hero Ultra Rumble is back. And they confirmed there will be another beta test, an open beta test for all to try out. Most of you guys watching this video most likely came from that video. Most of you watching this video most likely were able to participate in the open beta test. And if you weren't, it's fine. The game will be launching very soon. There's a large portion of of you though that will most likely be more familiar with the rest of the information, so I'm going to try to speed run this specifically because I've already done videos on some of the information that's coming up. So we're going to try to speed run this and get to the actual why I have come to the conclusion of this will be the day that the game releases. May 22nd to the 24th, we got a countdown promo for the open beta test along with the new characters. They had some information or just some hype about him. On the 25th, the open beta test finally started. On the 26th, we were locked out because there was maintenance for the open beta test. Along with that, we also got a confirmation on that same day that this will be the last open beta test, or the last test in general. On June 1st, the open beta test ended and we were sent back into limbo. On June 4th, a crossover promo event was announced for My Hero Justice 2 x My Hero Ultra Rumble. The event lasted between June 6th to the 25th, and all you had to do was log in, and a certain amount of people had to be in, and then we'll end up getting loading screens when the game launches. On June 13th, we got a thanks from the producer for playing the open beta test, along with a developer blogs being announced. On June 29th, we got the first developer blog along with the confirmation that Ultra Rumble will release this fall. On July 3rd, we got the open beta test stats. July 13th, we got blog number 2. July 20th, we got blog number 3. August 3rd, we got developer blog number 4. And on August 17th, we got developer blog number 5. On August 21st, this is the most recent thing in the X account, we got the main visual revealed. So with all of those canon events out of the way, we have a more concrete idea of where we are when it comes to the release date. I just want to point out real quickly that the main visual that was revealed in the English account on August 21st was revealed in the Japanese account on August 20th. Not only that, the main visual was sort of leaked back in June 15th. It was around the time that the first developer blog was posted, literally 2 days after the developer blog was announced. I'm going to take this information, the main visual being revealed, as a more of a hey, this is something you can be hyped about. That being said, let's get to the actual point of this video. We want to go from planned release date coming soon to the release date is this date. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you more information, and I know you're probably already bored from this information, but you kind of need to know this in order for you to get to the end result. When it comes to the game, we've already known that it's going to be in the fall. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have confirmed it. They have even done it twice. It's going to release in the fall. You guys coming to this video, you know it's going to release in the fall. And if you don't, well, now you know. So we want to go from that window of 3 to 4 months to an actual month. The way that I did this is I went to the PC version, which is we go to steam.db and we find out that they have actually been working on this. It's not just 2 days ago. They've been working days prior. They've been working the day before, and it's just they're still working on this. I don't know exactly what does change number mean. If anybody that's watching this video, you know what it means. All I know is that this means that they are working on it. They're editing something. They're confirming some other things. That's what it looks like. The one thing I want to point out is that they added a second version of the EULA. When it comes to the EULA, it's something that I posted about a while ago, back in June 28th of 2023. If you noticed, it was the day right before they announced that the developer blogs were coming and the release of the fall. Coming to this conclusion, we know that they are planning something, and they're planning something big. So here's something I want to show you is that the first EULA was here back in June 27th, and then here's the new version. The old version, you clicked on the link and it didn't really send you anywhere. And now that you click on it, it sends you to the actual EULA. What is an EULA? It's what you end up clicking I agree to every time you start a game for the first time. This is what you usually get, an end user agreement, and then you get something else for like the terms of service, which shows that they have been working on the PC version, which is a good thing since we've only gotten open beta test and closed beta test on the PlayStation version and not on any other platform. So they are working on the PC version as well, which is, again, it's a good thing, and it's a good sign to those of you guys who are planning on playing the game on PC and any other platform, because they are most likely working on those as well. So here's where I go full on conspiracy mode. Our end goal is the release date. We have all of this that we have to connect into this release date. We're going to use the sauce, which is just the dates. Here you can see it's just the dates. And then another thing we can use is the first time the global closed beta came out, the streamers or YouTubers giving an answer that it will not release in 2022. The open beta test, the last open beta test notification, so we know there will not be another beta test. Another thing we want to add here is a good source, which is the SteamDB. It showed us that the EULA was coming out. It shows us that they are still working on stuff. The next thing we can use is the developer blogs. With the developer blogs, we have a more concrete idea of what they are working with. So if we see that they're adding more customizations or they're adding more content, it'll give us an idea that the game isn't ready, but it's also being worked on. On top of that, the first developer blog gave us a window. So who's to say that we won't get a release month or day on any future developer blog? Next, I want to add 3 dates that you guys should know, specifically because it's around these dates that I believe the game will release. To start off, October 6th is when a Sword Art Online game is released, and you can see in their website this is when they are releasing. On top of that, this is from Bandai Namco, so the same ones that are releasing Ultra Rumble. Next is October 20th, the release date of Spider-Man 2. It's also on the same platform that the closed betas and the open betas were in. We can surmise that they want to try to obtain the PlayStation fan base, so if they want to do that, they wouldn't try to release on the same date that one of the biggest games on that platform is being released, which is a good idea since the majority of the time the anime game fan base is usually on PlayStation. It's not to say that Xbox or PC or any other platform is any less, but you'll end up finding more players on PlayStation than you would on any other platform. Now, it being a free-to-play game is a huge pro. A lot of people would want to play it since it's free, but there's also the huge con of it being free-to-play, because if it's free-to-play, that means you can download it whenever you want and you can play it whenever you want. Whereas if you were to purchase the game, you most likely end up playing it on the same day, if not on the same weekend. Just like when it comes to YouTube videos and stuff, you'll end up trying to pick a time or day when you'll end up getting more people to watch the video than less people. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to releasing a game. You'll want to release the game when there's not that many people that would want to play another game and more people that would want to play your game. Next is November 17th, the release date of Naruto to Boruto. I don't know why I keep saying Naruto to Boruto. The release date of Naruto Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. I have my own personal bias when it comes to this game. I do not like it. It reminds me of just Storm 4, so it feels like it's just a DLC for Storm 4, but we're gonna toss that bias aside. If Ultra Rumble releases around the time this game releases, it's a good bet, it's a safe bet, and it's actually not uncommon for Bandai to release anime games close to each other. Even though they're competing franchises, they're still really good to be released around the same time. And just to show you that it's not uncommon for Bandai to release 2 anime games on the same month, we're gonna go to Metacritic. This shows us all of Bandai Namco's released games, but what we want specifically from this website is the month that these games were released. So here you can see that One's Justice 2 back in 2020 was released on the same month that One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 was released. So with that being said, we go back to these dates and we get the idea that it's between October and November. Now, why did I choose these 2 months? Well, mainly because these are the 2 games that are coming out with Bandai Namco, like this is posted. The other games are TBD, so these are the most recent ones. There was another game that's coming out from Bandai Namco that was Armored Core or something like that. However, that game is already out by the time this video is posted, so that will not connect. Now, let's remember that the game launches in fall. When we look up when or how long does fall last, we get the answer of fall or autumn lasts between September 1st to November 30th. Knowing this, we can also add to the equation that these are Japanese developers, Japanese producers, and a Japanese company. So let's look up how long does autumn last in Japan. When we do this, we figure out that it lasts between mid-September through October and November and early December. Now that we have that, we can add one more thing to the equation, and that's figuring out where exactly is Bandai located, so that we have more of a rough estimate of when do they think fall would be. So we look up where Bandai headquarters is located, but the one we want specifically is the one in Japan. The one in Japan, when you find it, it'll be in Tokyo. When you add that into the equation, you got to look up when does fall start in Tokyo. Fall in Tokyo starts on October 15th. So we can actually rule out September from the equation, and we can also continue on from October 15th. Now, in order to solidify that it starts in October, we can actually look up the calendar system in Japan. When we do this, we find out that the Japanese calendar follows the Gregorian calendar like most of the world. However, they have have something known as a fiscal year, which basically splits up the entire year into 4 sections split up between 3 months. Doing this, we can find out that it's actually in the third quarter that October is in. So we can actually confirm to remove September from the equation, because first off, it's not in fall, and secondly, it's not in the third quarter. Just to confirm this is how Bandai Namco fiscal year works, we can actually look it up, Bandai Namco fiscal year. When we do this, we come to this website where it's Bandai Namco specifically. Now all we have to do is look up an example on the Bandai Namco fiscal year. In this website, I actually found this. It's from 2021 to 2022, and it's also how the fiscal years work by quarters. And so I'm gonna go ahead and use this, and I'm gonna clean this up a bit so that we don't need these numbers. We really don't need these numbers. And now we're stuck with the months. With these months, we can actually rule out April, May, June, the first quarter, because that's already passed and we didn't get the game launched in that time. We can also rule out July, since we didn't get it in that month. We can rule out August. Let's be honest, we can't get it in August. And we can rule out September, since that's in the second quarter and not the third quarter, where fall is actually in when it comes to Tokyo. So we rule out September. So with that being said, we take out the first 2 quarters, and then we're left with the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter is in 2024. We already got confirmed that it's releasing in fall of 2023, so we don't need to have the fourth quarter. That's also not in fall, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that. We'll be stuck with the third quarter, October, November, December. Now we can take this even further by removing December. And the way we remove December is by going back to the website that had the fiscal years reports, and we find this: the Bandai Namco Group fiscal year ended March 2023. In here, we end up finding something very important, and that's this. We find out that they are trying to increase their overseas sales ratio by 35%, which let's not worry about all of that number jumbo whatever. What we mainly need to know is that they are trying to focus on overseas sales, which means they are trying to get people to pay for more stuff from outside of Japan. Knowing this, what do people tend to celebrate around December? They celebrate Christmas, and they wouldn't want to release the game during Christmas. It adds more competition, and not a lot of people will want to play a game during Christmas because people tend to travel, they tend to be with family, they tend to be family and friends. It's just not a good time for them to release it around December. So we're left with 2 months. 2 months to decide when this game will release. But this video is getting pretty long, and I'm trying to cut this down to at least 20 minutes. So I'm gonna have to speed run the rest of it. You already know everything, and if you don't, then you just gotta have to pay attention. They're gonna have to use October as a promotional month, mainly because of Spider-Man 2 being there. If anything, they can use Spider-Man's hype for their own hype by saying, hey, you can play another game that has superheroes that's releasing not that far away. On top of that, they'll have 3 months to complete the game instead of 2 months, seeing as how back in June we had the first and last open beta test. Now with it being in November, it's a good thing since they can use Naruto as a safeguard for any other competition that comes along. That being said, we have 3 dates to work with: October 27th, November 3rd, and November 10th. Now, why do we have these 3 dates? Well, if you think about it, releasing it on a Friday is a good thing because you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the entire weekend to play the game. On top of that, if you do it on Monday through Thursday, you have to have people that go to work, they go to school, or whatever throughout the week. People tend to not play video games all that much throughout the week. However, if you release on a Friday, you have the entire weekend to play. On top of that, we can add a little bit more to make this even smaller by just eliminating the 27th and the 10th, mainly because it's a week after Spider-Man. People might still be playing the game, and then it's a week before Naruto, and people will end up dropping it as soon as Naruto comes. So we go into November 3rd. November 3rd would be the safest bet to when this game will release, and this is where I'm going to lock it down. This is where the game will release. Now the rest of the video is just going to be me connecting all the dots, and I hope you guys appreciate the video. It's been a long time. I've recorded this several times. I went from 2 hours down to like 24 minutes, at least from what is looking like. It's still recording. It's at 24. Like and subscribe. Later.